chicken, I'm not 22. You got a problem with that? I got a problem with you. Yeah, I earned this grade. Yeah, I earned this grade. Don't tell me I should wash it away. I earned this grade. I got my song, I got my guitar. Don't you tell me I'm too old to play. You know, mister, I earned this grade. I earned this grade. I earned this grade. Oh, I earned this grade. I earned this grade. Don't tell me I should wash it away. I earned this grade. All right, folks, welcome. Nice to see you all here on Zoom with us today. And welcome to everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live. Wonderful to see you there too.
Hey everybody, nice to see you.
We always start out our sessions playing that video so you get to hear a little bit of some of the songs we have done and some of the songs we have yet to do. And so this is a song we haven't covered yet on these series, and we've been doing this series since when? March of 2020.
The beginning of time.
You might remember why that all
the beginning
was happening.
of COVID time.
But we're thrilled that you decided to join us this week for a song that we really were thinking about after this week of actions in DC called People versus Fossil Fuels. Before we get to the song, and maybe I should silence my phone unless it's somebody who's from this group. No, it's not. It looks like it's spam. Wow. Perfect timing, spam. Thank you. So before we do that, I want to give a great big thanks to our tech team who help us run things. That was Marcy running the video, and we've got Rada here today, and Paula doing Facebook posting, and Moria doing the posting up here on Zoom. And we have also on our team in general, who are not here necessarily today, Toby and Alice. And did I forget anybody? Because it's one of those days. But I think I might have gotten it all. So we want to invite folks who are joining us on Facebook Live. There's a link at the top of your post. If you would like to come join us here in the Zoom room, you are welcome to. There's also a link in the top of your post for today's song lyrics and chords. So for today's song, we've got 3 sets of lyrics and chords for you because I'm playing Capo 7.
I'm playing Capo 4. Who knows why? We must have been all like on adrenaline or something when we went to do this song.
And then the song is actually in the key of B. So for folks who are not playing a capoed instrument, if you're playing along on your piano or your fiddle or your flute, whatever, it is in the key of B. Maybe the next time you hear us sing it, it will be in B flat. It's a little too
Which
high.
is always a nicer key for me.
But what we like to do is get started by singing the song, and then we can tell you a little bit about it, and we'll break it down and teach you the various parts. Yeah, that's a good Rada. I just wrote, life without music would be flat. That's very cute. And Rada wrote it with a B and a little B for flat. That's cute. That's a good music nerd kind of joke. I like it.
Are you okay with those? Do you need those?
I am. No, I'm good. Okay. I'm good. So this is a song called Sun in the Wind.
Oil in the water, ashes in the air, poison in the food we eat, and war is everywhere. Who you gonna look to fix this mess we're in? We're gonna reach out to each other. And the sun and the wind, the sun and the wind, Congress won't support it. Billionaires deny. You know the cost of mining. Cheap coal's a dirty lie. mountains with greedy corporate spin. We're gonna chain ourselves together beneath the sun and the wind. Ah, 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 the sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. Here we are at the brink of this final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. Shining down upon us on every roof and tree, blowing through the valleys from sea to shining sea. If anything will save us, anything, my friend, we've got to trust in one another. And the sun and the wind, ah, 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 the sun and the wind, ah, 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 the sun and the
Like that.
little bit of Appalachian mournfulness in that, and also a little bit of hopefully information and some hope for the future, some motivation for some things that we can do and things that they were doing in this last climate action.
Yeah, a little bit of history. So we wrote this song in 2011, so 10 years ago. And we were part of an action that was, both a music event, an arts event, and an action. And it was organized by the Chesapeake Climate Action Network. When we used to live in Maryland, they were a group that we worked with, and they did a lot of actions. And we wrote a number of songs for that organization. They did inspiring work, and we were inspired to write songs for them. So this was a climate artists event. I forget how they called it. Artists for Climate Action, I think, was their 5th annual event. We were there to sing. There were a number of other people doing poetry, and Tim DeChristopher was there. You might remember him. He's the guy who bought some land
at an auction,
at a federal auction, to save it from being drilled on. And then he went to jail.
This was during the Bush administration.
Because
he raised his paddle and said, "Yes, I'll take the land." And it turns out he didn't have the money to do that. He was really just trying to disrupt and raise awareness about the importance of this land, remaining in the public trust and not becoming privatized.
But he did go to jail as only activists do, and not corporate criminals. Unfortunately, we're still working that out. But while he was there, he actually got really inspired by music and how music can create momentum for justice. And he founded a singing movement of younger people at that time, and it was really lovely. So he was there, and then after that demonstration, we all went and walked a few blocks in this march down to this coal-fired plant in Virginia that was one of the coal-fired plants that was powering the government building. So literally the government was running on coal.
And the Senate office building at that time was actually powered by this really filthy coal-fired power plant. So it was kind of fascinating to see that the legislators were in that building and voting on legislation to help limit these kinds of filthy earth-killing fuels, and yet the building was being fueled by these filthy earth-killing fuels.
And it was spewing a ton of pollution in the air, and we already know what pollution does to communities that are living near dirty plants like that. So with that action and a number of other actions that happened, we actually did shut down that coal-fired plant. And I want to give a shout out to Michael and Lori, who are here, who are leaders of the Greenbelt Climate Action Network. in Maryland, and they also support CCAN in its advocacy work on national, regional, state, and local levels. Michael and Lori, great to see you here, and
nice
thanks for letting us know what you're doing there in Greenbelt. Greenbelt is quite a cool town. Maybe if you want to, please let me know in the chat if you'd like to come on and tell us what y'all are working on around now. And in the meantime, maybe we'll start teaching you the song. We usually start with the chorus.
So this is a pretty simple chorus. We wrote this literally, I think, the night before this. We were going to be singing at this event. We always tried to come with a new song in hand if we could, and we did that, as San said, many times for the Chesapeake Climate Action Network. So this one is. So there's sort of like pickup notes to this. They're kind of before the downbeat, the first couple of words in this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The sun and the wind, the sun and the wind, So it's the end of that last line of each verse kind of rolls right into the first words of the chorus. So if we're on the last line of the first verse, it's we got to reach out to each other, and the sun and the wind, the sun and the wind,
That's pretty easy.
Pretty simple. Yeah, we don't really have to go through that many times.
I always love to hear it because I'm like, I don't think I ever heard your part. I just sang harmony with it, but I didn't really ever know exactly how it went. So here's how the vocal harmony goes on that part. So from that last line of verse 1, gotta reach out to each other, and the sun and the wind, so let's roll that a couple times because mine changes a little bit.
Okay.
It's a lot on the same note, but not ton. So let's roll the chorus
that,
like 3 times.
Last,
yeah,
line.
That. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotta reach out to each other, and the sun and the wind. The sun and the wind. Got to reach out to each other,
Or just,
and the sun and the wind.
So, yeah, not too hard.
Pretty simple.
Let's see if everybody's liking that. We put you on gallery. You're good. Thumbs ups. I see the thumbs up. Fantastic. That's great. Good. And I see you were starting to write some stuff to me, Michael, but we could just bring you up if you want to talk a little bit about that. Yeah? No. Got it.
Okay. That's fine.
Not everybody wants to do that. All right. So let's go. Let's talk a little bit about the chords in the chorus. Okay. Michael's writing, Lori was in D.C. for an action with a group of activists trying to save the climate crisis efforts and the bills in Congress. Yep. And she joined other activists led by indigenous people and risking arrest to tell the Biden administration to cut pipelines and other fossil fuel projects. Exactly. So those are the demonstrations called People versus Fossil Fuels. And that is what inspired us to choose this song to sing with you all today. If we were still living in DC, we would have been there with Lori and with all of you. And
we miss being at all these actions. When we were there, we would be at every single one that we were around for. So
yeah, we sure do. So there are beautiful pictures everywhere on the web, and there's video coverage you can watch on Democracy Now! And of course, lots of news coverage about the actions. 530 people, at least at the last count I saw, got arrested to say to Biden, we really, this is it. This is a climate emergency. We need to end our fossil fuel dependency. And Caroline just wrote in the Zoom chat here, Joe Manchin has finally shown where his loyalties lie, for sure.
Yeah, he's clearly in the pocket of coal. So I get it. He's their representative, but he needs to be thinking about the larger health and welfare of that state and all of us. But that's where his vote's going, it looks like. And it's very sad. These demonstrators were really serious. It was very impressive to see the stuff they were doing. They were sitting down right in the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue. And especially, at a time where police are really edgy, understandably, after January 6th. But DC police are not known for being gentle in any case. And here, climate activists, they're peaceful activists, so they can rely on this movement for remaining peaceful. But still, it's a big decision when you decide to disrupt traffic on that level. And I have a lot of respect for those Indigenous folks and other allies doing that.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at some of the chat. Cleo's writing, Biden has been a disaster for the climate. The actions this week were vital. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we knew when we chose him, he was the anti-Trump, candidate, but he was not the perfect candidate by any stretch. And he needs to be pushed on this and immigration, lots of other things we have to push him hard on.
Yeah. But I definitely want to quote Michael Moore, who said, I voted for Joe Biden to run this country, not Joe Manchin. I think that's very important. So let's look at chords a little bit for this chorus. Do you want to show yours first, Pat?
So let me see. I'll just
that.
Do that so you can see. This is my G chord with the capo on 4 for anybody who wasn't here earlier to look at that. So in the chorus, it's and the sun and the wind, D, and that's sort of like a half of a C chord. You can play the full C chord if you want, but I play it with...
It's a C add 9 for people who are following along on paper.
Right. For those who know what that means. So I'll go from the top of that. And the sun and the wind, G, D, C add 9, back to the D, and then it just repeats that. And
yeah. And mine are some of my favorite chords, a bunch of add 9s, a bunch of things where you leave a bunch of strings ringing. So I'm playing capo 7. This song is in the key of B for anyone who just got to us. We've got chords and lyrics for you. If you're playing along with Pat at capo 4 in G, if you're playing along with me, capo 7 in E shapes, or if you're playing along in the key of B, which is how all these sounds sound. So here's what I'm playing. And the sun and the... So I'm playing a regular E chord, and then I play what's called a B5 because there's no third in it. And then when I play my A add 9, these same 2 strings will still ring. So you have that nice drone thing that happens. And later on, when you get into the verse part, there's a C sharp minor with a 7th, which just means that you shoot this up 2 frets, and these same strings ring. And that's how you play like Sandy-O. Leave some ringing strings. All right. Should we go back to the top of the top of the song or the verse or something?
Yeah.
Strum pattern, says Lynn. Nice, Lynn. Right. In mine, it's... Let's see. In the chorus, it's actually... Because I love those strings so much, I like to get a lot out of them. Lynn.
And Cleo's saying that the Dems are acting like repubs on this on these issues. So it's true that the solution is probably not electoral. We're going to have to push hard on this issue. We're going to have to force them to come along. So in the verse, so did everybody pretty much get that chorus? Is there a question in there?
Yeah.
Do you have?
Well, they're having.
Quite see it.
Yeah. No, all good. Cleo said, "I love the ringing of the high E and B strings." Thank you. Me too. That's the whole point.
That's a nice sound that Sam gets.
I love it. All right, let's hit the verse.
Yeah. So from the top of the verse, I just do that little intro. G, D, E minor, D shapes. Just vamp on that a little. And then oil in the water, ashes in the air, poison in the food we eat, wars everywhere. Oh, we gotta look to fix this mess we're in. We gotta reach out to each other. And then into the chorus. Yeah, so I agree with you. The solution is not strictly electoral. It's all of those things, really. It's electoral, and it's going to take a lot of direct action and pressure on our part. But we have to work with one another on this, which is really what this is sort of about. So let me go back to the top again. Oil in the water, ashes in the air, poison in the food we eat, the war is everywhere. Oh, we gotta look to fix this mess we're in. We gotta reach out to each other. And the sun and the wind.
All right.
And on like that.
Let's do my harmony part there. I have a couple lines, and you'll hear that sometimes I sing more harmony than others. In the first verse, I just sing on a couple of phrases.
2, 3, 4. Oil in the water,
Ashes in the air,
poison in the food we eat,
and war is everywhere.
oh, we gotta look to fix this mess we're in.
We gotta reach out to each other. Let's do it one more time, and I'll play my guitar part when it comes in, which comes in halfway through that verse.
Oil in the water,
Ashes in the air,
poison in the food we eat,
and war is everywhere.
oh, we gotta look to fix this mess we're in. We gotta
Reach out to each other. Yep. So I sing sometimes lower than Pat, sometimes higher than Pat. I don't think it's that hard, but I think we just did it once. Let's do it one more time, and then we can just check.
Did what once?
I think we only did my harmony part once. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, we did it without me playing the guitar. Okay, hold on, let's check.
Do you want to do it with, without your guitar part so they can?
That's
you
all
did
right.
it. You did it the first
Are
time.
you
without
okay
your
with
guitar
harmony parts? Or you needed otra? Good for you.
part. Pretty clear. Yeah.
Good for you. Wonderful. Okay, cool. Lots of high capoing, says Cleo. Yes,
Yeah, it's way up.
Yes.
We even said, I don't know if you were here at the top, but we were like, yeah, we probably should have dropped this down at least a half step or something. So the next time you hear us play it, it may be in B flat instead of B.
And we've got some folks joining us on Facebook. Ben is there, and who else is there? A couple people who put comments in there. Kelly and I missed somebody's name. But anyway, welcome to everybody who's there. If you wanted to join us on Facebook, there is a link at the top of your post that you can come join us. And there's also a link at the top of your post for the lyrics and chords. If you'd like to play along with me, I'm playing Capo 7 in the key of in E shapes.
And I am playing Capo 4 with G shapes.
And all of that means that the song is in the key of E, and you can play the
key of
B. You can play the key of B on any instrument you like. And Enid is there from Australia. You just woke up, says Enid.
Good morning.
Lovely. All right. Well, maybe let's go through like from the beginning, and then we'll go to the bridge, and then we can stop on the bridge and work on that.
I'm looking at some of the comments
Okay.
here that agriculture does need to change. That's very true.
So Moria's comment was, to slow global warming, UN warns agriculture must change.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about, how much the military contributes to global warming. And that's why we have that thing about wars everywhere. And that's part of what is obviously contributing to climate change, plus people who think they need to go into space to prove that they have enough money to go to space. I like that Prince William said we should be focusing on saving the earth,
Yeah.
and not trying to find the next place to destroy. Yeah. And there are pipelines everywhere. Cleo's pointing out
Brooklyn
in New York,
pipeline.
we're fighting the
God.
Brooklyn pipeline.
Oy.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dane's talking about the Chesapeake. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to Standing Rock, so I'm wearing my Standing Rock shirt there, and folks are up in Minnesota working on Line 3.
Yeah.
A lot of different fronts.
Local
right
pipeline in northwest Massachusetts. Marcy says people have been fighting against.
Jeez, yeah.
And David says on Facebook, David from Monroe, New York. Love your songs. That's sweet.
Thank
you, David. Glad you're here. All right, let's sing it. Let's sing it all the way up to the bridge, and then we can break down the bridge.
Let's see. Did we do the chords on the? I did my chords. Did you do yours? Oh,
I did them on the front side.
On the verse.
Yeah.
Okay, good, great. So I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Why don't
now?
you start and let's go through and let's get to the bridge, and then we'll work on the bridge.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So just start at the bridge, or
Okay, let's start at the bridge since that's what you just said. Let's do that, and then we can do the whole thing.
I mean, usually we do each section, and then
that's fine. Let's
then we
do
do
it.
the whole thing. So, okay, so the bridge.
And I was saying do that section up to the bridge just to practice those, but it's an easy song.
Fine, we'll do it. Whatever.
No, let's do it. It's that kind of a day. Let's see what Cleo says. Fairy Creek in British Columbia. The biggest arrest in Canadian history just a few weeks ago. People demanding Trudeau stop logging the ancient forest. 900 people arrested. Wow. In one fell swoop. Wow. Yes. Protect Thacker Pass, writes Kelly. Writes Kelly on Facebook. You all are awesome. So tapped into what's going on everywhere. That's exactly
great.
What we love to see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever you want to do. It's fine.
Let's just do that bridge section.
Okay.
And then we'll go through the whole thing.
Okay, great.
So we go right from the chorus. The sun and the wind. I think on the recording we actually do something slightly different in that repeat of that chorus part, but I can't remember what it is right now. So, so on the bridge we start out with an F shape if you're on the 4th fret. Here we are at the brink before this final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. So I'll do that again. Here we are at the brink before the final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. So that's my part.
Okay, we can do my part. I just want to check on a little bit of something. I want to thank our team for, I think it looks like somebody wanted to get in and you didn't let them in, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Thank you.
That's why we have a team. Let us thank the team in the middle of our session for being here and doing all the right things. So apparently people still want to Zoom bomb and whatever the heck else they want to do. So thank you for keeping them out. All right, so bridge. I'm playing a D add 9 because that's how it is. Here we are at the brink, before the final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. I'll do it one more time. 2, 3, 4. Here we are at the brink, before the final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And it just occurred to me. Sometimes we actually pitch songs a little bit higher when we are singing for a big group or if we're singing outdoors. I think this part of the program that we sang this in actually was indoors. But often at outdoor actions, we will purposefully pitch songs a little bit higher so that we can be heard over a crowd, even with the sound system outside, so many distractions, so many other things going on. We'll actually, it's one of our, it's just something that you can do. That sometimes the treble sounds, the higher voices carry a little bit more. So we will purposefully do that. It just occurred to me.
Yeah, and let me show this again for the question of where does the last chord change happen in line 3 of the bridge. Here we go. We'll do here we are at the brink, before the final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. So line 3, I'm thinking you mean before the open your eyes to clean power. Okay. Open your eyes to clean power.
So it still follows that pattern of, it's. So a bass and then, the rest of the strings, bass.
Yeah. And I think if you're thinking about it in measures, the B5 has a full measure, and then things start moving. So let us know if that helped or didn't help, and we'll keep commenting. Oh, keep checking in with comments. Yeah. And we'll sing the song from the top.
We will definitely sing the song from the top. Are there other questions that folks have? I'm trying to, the computer's just far enough away that I can only get a few words.
So Rada was writing, my aunt ran the Maryland Environmental Health Network when she was working, and I think she was involved with Chesapeake Group, or at least I know of them. Yeah, nice.
Cool. That's great.
And Cleo was asking, do you think treble voices carry more over noise because you have to exert more breath power to hit higher notes?
Possible. I don't know, actually. I don't know the physics of it. But I think that it has to do with the where a lot of sounds sit in the spectrum, because I find I have a lower voice, right? And sometimes I have to work to make my voice stand out from the guitar, from other kinds of sounds, even when I'm speaking to people outside. I mean, sometimes I just speak quietly, but I think that the sound of the general din of the world is a little bit more in that middle range. This is just my hypothesis based on my experience. It might be bullshit, but but my experience is that a lot of the sound, the just general sound out in the world, is somewhere in that middle range. And if you have something that either comes up above it or below, but I think that the higher sounds are the louder sounds, the sounds that stand out a little bit more.
We have a lot of hypothesizing going on in the chat, and that's good. Lisa was saying it has to do with wavelength. So higher sounds have a shorter wavelength, lower ones have longer ones.
Yeah, because we actually have the scientists out there.
Yeah, that's great.
Very
that's
cool.
Great. Music is science, says Rada. That's great.
It so is. Yeah, I love that about it.
If we do just the ending bit that happens now that we've got the bridge, then we have the whole song.
Sure. So just third verse out. Is that what you're saying? And then we'll go from the beginning.
Yeah, let's do it from like second verse, because we didn't even sing that one ever with harmonies and stuff like that, and go, we didn't. Yeah.
Sure.
I think my harmonies might change.
Oh, really?
The last verse I sing harmony the whole verse, for instance.
Okay. So from the second verse.
So let's do the last verse, since we'll get all the harmony on it, and then we'll put it all together. I'm just trying to give us some practice run before we just do it once through, all after everything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So 2, 3.
All right, last verse, third verse. Okay.
Sure. 2, 3, 4.
Shining down upon us on every roof and tree, blowing through the valley.
Oh, maybe I don't sing on that. Maybe I don't sing there. Huh? Do I? I know, but I'm not. Maybe I don't sing it. But let's sing it and see if I like it, and then you'll sing it too.
2, 3, 4.
Shining down upon us on every roof and tree, blowing through the valleys, from sea to shining sea. Anything will save us, anything, my friend. Got to trust in one another.
And the sun and the wind, the sun and the wind,
The sun and the
All right, so let's do verse 3, because I think I do sing harmony on the whole thing. At least I like what I sang, so let's sing it one more time so people have a chance to get it.
Okay.
And they're enjoying our looseness today, so that's good.
Well, good. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be here forever.
Forever.
And we have that little Beatles ending that I think we actually neglected to put in the.
I put it in.
Oh, you did put it in. Oh, good. Okay. That for me, F shape, C shape, G. Okay, good. So from that verse out, third verse out.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
shining down upon us, every roof and tree, blowing through the valleys, from sea to shining sea. If anything will save us, anything, my friends, we got to trust in one another.
And the sun and the wind,
The sun and the wind,
Let's do it, and I'll sing my harmony part just so people can hear it in case they needed to get it.
Yeah.
They probably have
This
it.
is on the
Yep.
part?
3 to verse 3 to the end.
Okay.
Shining down upon us, every roof and tree, blowing through the valleys, from sea to shining sea. If anything will save us, anything, my friend, got to trust in one another.
And the sun and the wind.
Ah, ah, ah,
The sun and the wind.
ah, ah, ah.
The sun and the wind.
All right. So does that make sense? I feel like you got all of that. Not too tough. You're good. You otra. You're good. You're good. You're good. Lovely, 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 lovely.
Great.
Great. The harmonies sound like the sun and the wind too, says Gail. That's beautiful. That's so nice
I mean,
to hear.
that's a little bit of what we were after there.
Yeah, and there's a third
It's
voice.
nice that it reads.
On the recording. I think, Pat, you did another note in between yours and mine that we
Right.
just did live. So that's fun. All right, let's take it from the top.
Cool. Was there another question there?
No, just about cats and whether they could be talked about
capo?
too much or not.
There's a capo question.
Oh, is there? I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I like the sound of the switch to D shape capo 7th fret in the ending transition. Yeah. Thanks, Cleo. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of, it kind of kicks that moment there. A little bit of a punch, like, yeah, we're going to do it. Here we are at the brink. Open your eyes to clean power, Congress, President, people.
Joe fucking Manchin. All right. Oil in the water, ashes in the air, poison in the food we eat, and war is everywhere. Oh, we gotta look to fix this mess we're in. Gotta reach out to each other. And the sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. The sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. Congress won't support it. Billionaires deny. We know the cost of mining. Cheap coal's a dirty lie. We blast the tops of mountains with greedy corporate spin. We could chain ourselves together beneath the sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. The sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. Here we are at the brink. You're the final hour. Open your eyes to clean power. Shining down upon us, every roof tree, blowing through the valleys, from sea to shining sea. If anything will save us, anything, my friend, we got to trust in one another. And the sun and the wind. Ah, ah, ah. The sun and the wind. Ah,
got much of it. A couple lyric things, a couple chord things. That's how we do it. We do our best. We do our best. And I think I don't sing harmony on that whole third verse. And here's why. I was thinking about it. So the chorus is kind of like the biggest moment of the song. And then arrangement-wise, we always like to, and this is a thing that lots of people do, you sort of drop down in your last verse and then build it back up again. So I think I probably come in on the blowing through the valleys, from sea to shining sea, something like that. So somewhere later in the verse. Yeah. And Moria is very helpfully putting up our next gig thing so we can tell you about them. We have, first of all, right, you are invited. We do appreciate if you have the ability to make contributions. We certainly appreciate it. This is how we are, this is part of how we are making our living these days in the semi-pandemic times that we are still in. We have not begun touring, and part of that is because, we know it was hard to know whether things were going to be safe to plan concerts, and then travel was its own challenge, including that if you buy your ticket and then the gig is not happening, that's actually a cost that's really hard for us to incur.
Yeah.
So we do appreciate your donations if you can make it. We also invite you to become one of our monthly patrons of the arts on Patreon. And there's all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff that we put up, and we do have a couple projects in the works that our Patreoners will hear about first, because that's how it works. But short of that, we have concerts coming right up. We have next Sunday, our guest for Learn a Song will be Arne Batson, who is an amazing singer and powerful songwriter and powerful song leader. She probably most notably that you all might recognize, she was part of Sweet Honey in the Rock.
One of the many iterations of Sweet Honey. Amazing singer, wonderful songwriter.
Yeah, and she's a total love fest. So you will want to come hear her teach a song next Sunday, which is the 24th.
Yeah, she's a blast. You'll love
She is
that.
a blast. And the Sunday after that, which is Halloween, we will be having a concert right here, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, with Arne Batson and Greg Greenway. Those will be our two guests. I don't know if they're going to show up in costume. I don't know if you're going to show up in costume. That's up to you. But that will be our concerts. And the Sunday after that will be Greg Greenway teaching a song. That's Sunday, November 7th. We're also part of a NARAL fundraiser, NARAL Pro-Choice Maryland Gala fundraiser online Friday, November 5th. And we will get you details as soon as we have them. And Sunday, November 21st, we're also part of the School of the Americas Watch online virtual vigil and litany this year, again as last year. And then coming up before that time of November 21st, that's right, we will be starting taking orders for holiday toffee. So because Louis DeJoy is still an idiot and still in charge of the United States Post Office, we're going to do... He's a disaster, and he's like a Trojan horse, although the horse was Trump and he was part of that problem. And he's still not out. He has successfully implemented these plans to literally slow down the post office. So we will be doing...
And also making using the post office more expensive.
Yeah, and making postal workers' lives more difficult and awful and less well paid, etc. So we will be doing our best to have you order early for your holiday toffee and spice nuts. For people who don't know what we're talking about, that's what we do in the holiday season. We make this delicious homemade toffee. Last year we inaugurated a special orange flavor to reclaim orange, and it was so delicious that we're probably going to keep it but just rename it. And what else? Then we've got things holiday season. I'll be doing co-producing again for Kung Pao Kosher Comedy, or co-hosting, I forget what word I actually use, which happens on December 24th, 25th, and 26th. Before then, there's another lockdown comedy coming up this Thursday, October 21st, if you like to laugh. And while you're sitting on your couch at home, that is an online show that I've been co-producing with my friend Lisa Godoldig. So I think those are all of our upcomings. And yeah.
I'm glad you like the toffee, Paula.
Yeah. Let's see. Harriet's on Facebook and wrote, "Love it. Listening and watching from Cape Cod, where there was a lot of sun and wind today, and I hear a local echo. When we battled the Plymouth Nuke, which is now shut down, we sang 'Gonna Lay Down My Burden' or 'My Sword and Shield' down by the riverside and turn to the sun and the wind." Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to hear that. Lovely. Lovely to see you there on Facebook. Bernadine is there. Beautiful song. Thanks, Bernadine.
Thank you.
So we're glad for all the folks who joined us on Facebook Live. If you'd like to come and join us up on Zoom, we always have a hang afterwards to find out how everyone's doing. This has been quite a month of events, and we didn't actually announce them all last Sunday, so I'll remind folks that this past week we had National Coming Out Day for folks who were doing that, and we have some folks here on our Zoom who were sporting beautiful rainbow borders. So maybe I will show you that for a second since we have a couple of those. Yes, there we go. Marcy's got one. Thanks, Marcy. And it was also Cancer Awareness Month, and we have some folks who've had to deal with that and are making it through. And cancer is really tied to environmentalism. The other song we were thinking of doing for you this week was about Rachel Carson and her work both to expose pesticides and the damage around that, but also at the same time she was fighting cancer, and it was probably environmentally caused cancer. That is something that happens. So we will get to that song as well. What else is happening this month?
Lori also reminds us that this is the anniversary of the quake. Is that the 89?
Yeah,
1989 quake.
Right.
I was on tour here 2 weeks after, and in fact I was doing an environmental. I'm trying to remember. A disarmament thing or an environmental thing, some crossover there. One of the first times I think I came out touring here, actually. It was already scheduled. It was a conference. It was understandably a much scaled down conference, but I saw a lot of that wreckage from that quake, including the Bay Bridge that crumbled. It was really, I just watched on television, obviously, and so many of you were here during that time, so it must have been terrifying to and there's a brand new Bay Bridge now that is much less susceptible to that kind of damage, but that's that is some of the reality. And of course these extractive industries are just contributing to the number of earthquakes. We were on tour in Arkansas, and the folks that and we were there for I think we were there actually for a climate event.
That was Searcy, Arkansas, and
that's right.
That might have been when we were there.
Right.
Maybe we
were
came
there
back
to
another
support
time.
the LGBTQ students. But right, and we were staying with a young couple there, and they were going to a town meeting because the company that had been fracking there in town, along with the representatives of the town there, were having a community meeting to let people know basically that they were going to shut down their fracking project there because there had been 1,000 earthquakes in the course of the span of about 3 months there. And that area, they're dangerously close to the New Madrid fault, which is the fault that the folks that that watch these things often say that's the next big fault that they expect to become active, and they were actually shutting down their deep fracking operations. Apparently, fracking happened at not such a deep level for a long time, and then they had to go deeper in order to get more of the gas out. And when they did that, and they were going down through these plates and causing all kinds of shifting. So, and that was going on in Colorado and a lot of different places around the country. So these things are all connected.
Yeah. And all of that was kind of unseen. It was so deep under the ground. And I want to shout out also that someone put in the chat here, this week starting tomorrow is Invisible Disabilities Week. So that same kind of thing. We don't always know what's going on within someone's body and in their lives, and keep a compassionate outlook. So anything else? I think we're good. So thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week with Arne Batson, and then on Halloween with Arne and Greg Greenway to do a concert. All right, stay tuned with y'all. We'll stay up here on Zoom.
Come join us.
And see you next time, Facebook Live.